Hello traders, this is Rich Derrick from tradesight. This is the look at the ETF scans for this coming session. This is going to be for Monday, April 15th, 2013. Had a kind of a sloppy session today, mostly with kind of a gap down and then an attempt at recovery that never really quite got there. Left us with some varying conditions within the market internally. We've got a differential buy signal in the Qs. We left a fairly good tail underneath it. So the implication is that we're going to make a new high on Monday before we make a new low relative to the high and low from the price action on Friday. We did have another volume bump in the diamonds, 130% of the typical volumes. So that is definitely something that you want to be aware of. Moving on to the individual sectors, we're a little bit better to buy overall here. We've got a couple of CPS sell signals. We've got one in the KRE and also one in the XLK, but they're mitigated by a few buy signals here that are going about 2 to 1 here on the buy side. There are definitely a couple of volume bumps, things that I'll be making notes of for tomorrow. Always want to be aware of where the volume is. I'm always attracted to volume to look for follow-throughs. Had a volume bump in the XLE and the OIH. Also had one in the XLB, in the XLY, and then finally the XRT also had a very good volume bump, traded more than 2 times the typical volume. Those are all going to be on my watch list for this coming session. Commodities were mostly to the downside today. Gold was very, very weak. You can see the weakness there. Almost 3.5% below the day's open on 6 times its normal volume. Very, very acute selling there. We also saw that spilling over into the SLV ETF that tracks silver more than 4 times its typical volume. So most of these have volume bumps. We have CPS sell signals and a bunch of these. We do not have it in gold and silver specifically, but these are definitely looking pretty sloppy for Monday for the most part. But they are at least short-term oversold. But you got to be aware of the CPS sell signals down there. The bonds will have upside signals of the CPS variety, the continuation pressure signals right across the board. As far as the foreign stuff goes, a little bit to the buy side here, but the buys are on uninspiring volume, nothing really jumping out. The EEM, emerging markets trade a lot of volume, almost twice as typical volume. We saw a lot of volume again today in the EWJ, and that was fairly weak today, about 0.75% below the VWAP. So not only was it weak today, it closed weekly and well below where most of the shares traded today. FAS had a volume bump today, but really not too much sticking out there as far as the rest of the specials go on the long side. On the short side, we've got a couple of camouflage sell signals, so definitely be aware of those. The DOG, involved with the whole gold thing, is definitely one to watch for this coming week as well. 155% of typical volume, so we're trading volume there. And as I say, volume begets volume, right? So that's why we're always focused on volume. Well, that's going to be it for this week. As always, thanks for listening. We hope to see you again next week. This has been Rich Derrick for tradesight, and trade well.